Hey, it's John Clarke from CalmAgainCounseling.com, helping you find calm again. We offer both in-person and online counseling and psychotherapy. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 really quick but effective tips on how to stop having panic attacks. All right, so the first point, we have to talk about this whole fight or flight thing. This whole fight or flight thing is tossed around a lot. It might be an idea you've heard of before, and there actually is some real utility to it when we talk about panic attacks. So the reality is a panic attack kind of happens in the nervous system. We have this response because from an evolutionary perspective, we needed this kind of startle response to, when there is a threat, to either fight it or run away. Okay, so that's really effectively what your nervous system and your body are telling you when you're having a panic attack. Okay, number 2, you have to understand that your nervous system in a panic attack is basically just false alarming. I would equate this to if you were in a building and someone pulled the fire alarm and it's going off, everyone's freaking out, but there's actually no fire. So again, unless your life is actually in danger, which most of the time when we're having a panic attack it's not, we have to understand that it is simply just a false alarm, but it's really the discomfort of the panic attack and the distress we feel that we want to get rid of. Now, because there's no immediate threat, we then have to attribute why I'm panicking so much to something. So a lot of times people think I'm dying, or I'm having a heart attack, or I'm going to pass out, or whatever it might be. I'm losing control. So we have to basically make sense of these sensations that we're feeling, and so we start thinking of all the things that it could be. We're basically just misattributing all the kind of arousal that we're feeling in that moment in our nervous system. Number 3, this is probably one of my favorite tips here. Panic attacks are really about fear of the fear. So after you've had your first panic attack, you feel how horrible it is, how awful you feel, how scary it is, how hard it is to explain to other people. Most people then start to have the fear of having another panic attack, right? I'll tell you a quick story. So I'm here located in San Francisco, and a few years ago I treated a client who was afraid of bridges. And guess what? We've got bridges all over the place here. What was interesting was he wasn't afraid of heights or falling off or the wind blowing him, completely off the Golden Gate Bridge. He was afraid of, what if I get out halfway over the bridge and I have a panic attack and I can't get off, right? I can't get off the bridge. This really encapsulates that fear of the fear cycle. It's actually the same thing for any other sort of stimulus. So if you're afraid of tight places, you're afraid of airplanes, a lot of times it's not an actual fear of airplanes or of crashing or whatever it is. It's a fear that I'll be in this enclosed space and I'll be feeling this fear. I'll have this intense panic and I won't have anywhere to go or anything to do with it. So the reality is fear can't hurt you. It's really uncomfortable, it's really distressing, but panic attacks never last for more than just a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes at the very, very most, if that, and they go away, right? It really is just a false alarm. Now, in the face of a panic attack, and again, after that first panic attack, people start to really be afraid of the next panic attack hitting. They tend to do one of 3 kind of coping behaviors, or what we call avoidance behaviors. They avoid, escape, or distract. Again, okay, so this is number 4 on our list: avoid, escape, or distract. So I'm feeling that panicky sensation, and so I avoid, the situation that I think is causing it, right? Or if my panic just happens to happen, on a plane, then I start avoiding planes. Well, this makes the anxiety build. This actually makes the odds of having a panic attack a lot more likely. And then we keep avoiding the situation, and then we learn that it's safe as long as I avoid this situation. And then before you know it, you're not flying, you're not getting in cars anymore, right? You won't go near a bridge, you won't even leave the house. So you can see how what a slippery slope it can be with panic if you don't get help right away. So the second one was escape. So a lot of times we're feeling that panic, we just want to escape. Or let's say we're at a party and we feel like we're starting to have a panic attack, we just want to get out of there as fast as possible. Again, when we do that, it's 1 point for anxiety and 0 points for you. Okay, the third avoidance behavior is we distract. So again, avoid, escape, and distract. Distract might be we just look at our phone or scroll through Instagram very anxiously, right? We might bite something, we might kind of self-soothe with drugs or alcohol, something like that. We might engage in risky behaviors, right, to kind of discharge some of that anxiety or to really distract ourselves from the anxiety that we're feeling. And again, the key here is just to understand your own avoidance behaviors, avoid, escape, or distract, and to stop doing them as much as you can, and actually just start to embrace and kind of lean in to the panic that you're feeling and the anxiety that you're feeling. It really is this shift in relationship with your anxiety where you need to kind of face it head on. Speaking of which, number 5 in our last tip for how to stop having panic attacks is to basically build your tolerance to anxiety, right? So this is basically called exposure therapy, but what we want to do is effectively, whenever we're feeling that panic, stick with it. Learn to ride it like a wave, okay? That wave comes, you're gonna ride it to the very top of the wave, and then it's going to come down. A lot of people, when they ride it to the very top of the wave, then they avoid, escape, or distract, or they do something they're going to regret, or they take a pill that kills the panic attack, but it doesn't really fix the problem, right? It doesn't actually treat panic attacks and all the psychological parts of it. So we have to build our distress tolerance. We have to build our tolerance to the distress we feel when we're panicking. So there you have it, 5 ways to stop having panic attacks. Now, panic attacks are extremely uncomfortable. They're some of the worst experiences you can have, but I promise you that they're very treatable. We can often get really, really good results even in a matter of 1 or 2 sessions. If you're dealing with panic attacks or anxiety really of any kind, head to calmagaincounseling.com to get started today. Look forward to seeing you soon.